Delighted to say joining me is broadcasting legend here in Belfast, a man who used to do the Giants Live, Wayne Hardman. And Wayne, your thoughts so far in this game?
Well, the Giants are starting to play as a team together, starting to stay out of the penalty box and playing as a unit rather than individuals chasing the puck around, which I thought was their downfall this year.
It's been a pretty torrid season, certainly from a Belfast Giants perspective. We've come to expect a lot more from the Belfast Giants. High expectations here within this organisation. It's been a pretty difficult season so far.
When you have the roster that you have with ex-NHLers, you expect a better camaraderie of the players and better team play. And we just didn't see it this year. Yeah, injuries had a big thing to do with it, but still the Giants have to play as a team to win games.
Stephen Murphy has been a huge miss from a Belfast Giants perspective, made Steve Thornton's job a lot more difficult.
It certainly is, but when you think about Steve has inherited somebody else's team. I know it's his second year in, and next year will be our first opportunity to see a real Steve Thornton team because he's inherited some of Todd Kelman's players and players that have been over for 2 years. But that doesn't excuse the players. They're getting paid good money to play team hockey, and that's what they should attempt to do.
So what do you put that down to? Was it a bit of after the Lord Mayor's show after last year? You know, the Giants ran out easy winners in that league campaign. They were the dominant team last season. Is it a wee bit of, I don't know, guys just kind of thinking that it's going to be easy again coming back in here this year? Or has the league got better? Are we doing a disservice to the other teams such as the Steelers, Nottingham Panthers, Cardiff Devils, Braehead Clan?
The league has definitely got better. You only have to look at the All-Stars this year. Giants managed to get one player on the second team. Murphy was out, didn't even get chosen by the GB team or a GB player. So the whole league lifted itself. The Giants stayed still.
I want to ask you just about that Craig Peacock's omission from the GB lineup. Bit controversial, no?
Somewhat controversial. Peacock is at least 5 years, if not 10 years, younger than Shieldsy. I've got nothing against Shieldsy, but certainly Craig Peacock is twice the ice hockey player that Shieldsy is this year. So why they've left him out, there must be a hidden secret there somewhere.
And young Ben Davies as well from the Braehead Clan. Was that another surprise omission? He had an excellent season here last year for the Cardiff Devils in a difficult season for them. Maybe it hasn't been as electrifying for the Braehead Clan this season, but still a very good young player as well.
New coach, new ideas. You know, he's got his players that he likes, and obviously all coaches choose players they think they're going to do a job for them. They must know something we don't know, because I know as a commentator and a journalist, I couldn't see the reason for it. Neither could you, but that's hockey.
Let's talk a bit about this Cardiff Devils team this season. We've already touched on a very difficult season last year for the Cardiff Devils, but this season under Todd Kelman's stewardship, along with Andrew Lord and Neil Francis, that organisation has turned around rapidly, and a really good team to watch. That big blue tent over in Cardiff, that unique venue, it's packed out every single week. Brilliant atmosphere. Todd Kelman and co have done a very good job.
Todd Kelman has brought new hope to the Cardiff Devils ice hockey team. They were at the lowest ebb that it could possibly be at. I won't say anything about the previous owners, but Todd got them right at the right moment. He's learned by his mistakes here. He's done it wrong here, but turned it around and did well here. He's gone on to Cardiff with all the experience, and they're moving into a new rink next year, which is something the Giants, he had never had with the Giants, because he's going to get all the revenue, the car parking revenue, the fast food revenue, and everything to make a really good team. He knows what he's doing.
He's a sharp cookie, is Mr. Kelman. I was speaking to him earlier on there today. Wasn't able to make it over, but I'm sure he's watching in on the webcast this evening. Let's talk a bit about the team that Andrew Lord has put together. Some fantastic hockey players. You know, we mentioned at the start of the season, built for the big blue tent, big physical guys, but intertwined with that, a lot of finesse players as well, and the likes of Jake Morissette, Brent Walton, Joey Martin. They're almost like an old school hockey team to watch.
It doesn't matter how much money you got. I don't care how many All-Stars you have. The team has to play as a team. The team puts the puck in the net by being a team, not a great individuals all on the ice together. And that's what Lord has done. He's got a group of guys that want to play together, have got the spirit, and they go out and prove it every night. They finished well above the Giants this year, and that's because if you look at the All-Stars and you look at the scoring stats, they're well above the Giants. I mean, the Giants weren't even in the top 20 in the top scoring. So, Giants fell behind. They didn't get what they thought they were paying for.
But we expect that to change next season. We expect probably quite a few changes with this Belfast Giants team. As you quite rightly say earlier on, we're expecting a more Steve Thornton side next season. Well, what will that actually entail?
Well, when you have the former NHLers playing for you, expect a higher quality of play. I see a massive change next year. I see the whole new roster, except for the British players, going out. I can't see him saying many because they just didn't prove themselves this year.
You talked there about the former NHLers. Obviously, Ray Sawada, former Dallas Star. I personally think Ray Sawada has been one of the shining lights this season for the Belfast Giants. Certainly from the turn of the year. Kevin Westgarth's the big one. In 7 seasons in the show, Stanley Cup winner as well. But he's found himself been healthy scratched on a few occasions as well.
As I said, it doesn't matter how many All-Stars you are, they got to put the puck in the net and play as a team. And when you've got a group of guys like the Cardiff Devils out there, they put together, they are a good little unit that has done very well for the Cardiff Devils. The Giants have to find that group of players that play together and want to play together as a team.
But that's something that has been extensively built up here over the last lot of years under Todd's stewardship, along with Doug Christensen, Paul Leary, and obviously Steve Thornton's come back in again. But you know, you talk here in Belfast, a lot of the players want to hang around. They're looked after incredibly well, put up in good apartments. Their paychecks are in time. Their cars are sat ready for them the second they arrive off the plane. Everything is catered for from top to bottom here within this organisation. I think Todd always used to say it's a no-excuse environment, and I've heard him saying that a few times about the Cardiff Devils now as well. Those guys are looked after incredibly well, but we just haven't seen it. The overall total commitment from this Belfast Giants team this season, would that be fair to say? I
would say the players haven't bought into what has been sold to them here. It's a no-worry situation here. Everything's looked after for, but they haven't kept to their end of the bargain. I mean, how many 20-goal scorers have we got this year? We had lots 2 years ago when Suez went and Surratt scored, what was it, 37 goals?
Yeah, I think Surratt last year. I think Surratt had about 40 goals and Suez had in around mid-30s as well. So there's 75 goals. Surratt's barely, what has he played, 15, 16 games this season. For the Giants, another, you know, it's his first season. He was telling me last week, this is his first season in 7 years that he's picked up any form of an injury, but this season has been pretty much a wipeout for him.
Yeah, you can put that down to the Giants' misluck this year. That previous year they went through it with absolutely hardly any injury. Paul 80 had a great season, hardly any injuries. They sailed through. They won the championship by, what was it, February?
Early February.
Yeah, early February they won it. And they other than 2 goals, they would have won all 3 trophies that year. What happened? You know, did the belief get lost, or did the Giants expect they were the team and they didn't have to do too much?
Let's just talk a bit about tonight's game. Ray Sawada with the go-ahead goal for the Belfast Giants. Your thoughts overall after 40 minutes of action?
They were playing great hockey. 1-0 might win it tonight. The Giants have stayed out of the penalty box. They're chasing every puck. The passes are stick to stick, and that's what we are used to seeing in the Giants.
But did the Giants need to take more of a lead into the big blue tent?
Well, I think they'd like to.
But do they need to?
Yeah, well, they have to, yes, because 1 goal isn't going to do it in Cardiff.
You think Cardiff Devils, obviously, the Giants are 0-6 at the big blue tent this season. It's been a torrid season for the guys over
I think the Giants have to go with real expectations of going to the Final Four weekend. Have to take more than a 1-goal advantage into Cardiff to be hopeful of going to the Final Four weekend.
What's Steve Thornton and and Andrew Lord as well going to be saying to their respective teams leading into this third and final period?
Lord can't be any more happier than with his team. He's keeping to a 1-goal deficit so far. He's come here. He didn't expect to win. And he's,
do you think so? Do you think?
I think he would be happy with a 1-goal deficit going to the Cardiff, knowing that they're going to pile pressure upon pressure to the Giants when they get into the big blue tent. Yeah, that's my understanding of it. Steve wanted to win by a big score tonight because that would have guaranteed him Final Four weekend place.
And just definitely finally, who do you think is going to come out overall winner in this playoff?
If the Giants play as they have for the first 2 periods, they're definitely going to be the winner. But will 1 goal be enough to take them to the Final Four weekend?
Wayne, thanks as always for your thoughts.